Well, hello there. Hello. Welcome. I'm coming to you from the beautiful, rainy, and muggy Saturday afternoon of Knoxville, Tennessee. However, by the time you can see this video, it will be late evening into tomorrow because my internet is absolutely horrid. Now, I'm hoping on working to resolve that internet issue one day, hopefully soon, but that's a topic for another time. Today is going to be my first attempt at making a YouTube video. My friend Spuds here wishes to help. I actually had one earlier attempt, but I didn't really care for how it turned out. So I deleted it, like I attempted to delete the memories of some of my ex-girlfriends. Although, in this case, I successfully deleted it, the video, not the memory of my ex-girlfriends. I've not always made the best decision when it comes to dating, but hey, who's perfect? And again, a topic for another day. Today, for my first video on YouTube, I wanted to introduce myself and share a little backstory about who I am. To quote from Vice Admiral James Stockton, "Who am I? Why am I here?" You're here, Spuds, because you're my friend. My name is JP. I'm a Knoxville, Tennessee native. One of the first things that people tell me is that I don't have a Tennessee accent. Well, I assure you, when I'm really tired, it sneaks out, and I can say I reckon I ain't no redneck with the absolute best of them. JP is actually my initials, but just about everyone I've known for a while calls me by my initials. I prefer not to give out my full name for safety and security reasons, although my friend here is a good defender of the house. You just never know when you're going to meet an insane person. Fortunately, to quote from the great Waylon Jennings, "I've always been crazy, but it's kept me from going insane." And I would kindly ask that any friends who watch my video to please, sir, don't dox me by sharing my name in any comments you leave here or elsewhere on any future videos I create. What I'm hoping to accomplish with this channel, I'd actually like to cover a myriad of topics that I enjoy. The first and most prominent of these topics will be my experience with rideshare driving. I am also hoping to discuss my love of films and occasionally, though rarely these days, write some short works. Let me try that again. Write some short works. Enunciate. I've tried my hand at a novel, and it's currently around 50,000 words, and I'm actually considering returning to it one day. Honestly, it's just difficult to find the time to write these days, with as often as I'm working. So, I have a full-time office job during the weekdays. I'm blessed to work for a government contractor, and I've been with them for 13 years now. They give me all the free coffee I could ever ask for. Don't knock it. And I keep returning every day. Fortunately, they haven't wisened up yet to get rid of me. Now that I've introduced myself, I wanted to discuss how I became involved in rideshare driving for Lyft and Uber. Earlier in 2020, all of us were going through a pretty difficult time with everything happening in the world. You don't need me to spell it out for you. For a period of time, all of us in my office job had to work from home. I live with two wonderful dogs, Wolf and Spuds McKenzie, who you've met. They are absolutely phenomenal company. I live with two wonderful dogs. Oh, I already said that part. Not gonna lie, I did script a lot of this out just so I wouldn't screw it up too badly, especially with it being my first time. My dogs are my best buddies. With that said, they aren't the greatest conversationalists in the world. Now me, on the other hand, I love people. I love meeting people from all different walks of life and learning about them and their experiences. Being stuck at home 24 hours a day by myself with no human interaction, let's just say I began to understand how Jack from The Shining felt. Not good. And if that kept going for too long, that may have just changed the quotient sung about to where I started slipping into insanity instead of just being healthy crazy. I had been considering giving rideshare a go for several years, but didn't really have the type of vehicles that would be conducive to doing it. That's my other dog, Wolf. Lyft and Uber both require you to have a four-door vehicle. I didn't have that. However, over the last year, I was both gifted with a four-door vehicle from my grandmother, She gave me her little Chevy Trax. Unfortunately, she's just not able to drive safely any longer. And I also purchased, it's still her car. It'll always be her car whenever she wants it. And purchased a second four-door vehicle after trading in my Jeep Wrangler. It was tough trading in my Jeep. It was so much fun to drive. That would allow me to begin the process of rideshare driving. I decided you miss out on all the risks you don't take in life, and that could give me an opportunity to get out there in the world and meet new people, as well as getting to know all the local bars and clubs and restaurants around Knoxville as well. Of course, it's not like I really get to go to any of these places, as I'm literally working 70 to 90 hours every week. But in the rare moments of freedom, it's still good to know your city better, for when you do have the opportunity, of course. Rideshare driving was a way for me to escape from the boredom and tedium of no human contact while we had to work from home for a temporary period. Now, some of you may enjoy working from home. Hey, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Many do enjoy it. But for me, it's all about the extroverted sense of sharing my life and my world with people. Originally, when I started out driving for Uber, I was mostly doing food delivery for them. That's part of the reason I'm here. JP, you have all these incredible stories to share about things that happened to you out on the road. Why don't you share your stories? I took the risk. Instead of just doing food delivery, I switched over to rideshare, to be around the people, to meet people. At the time I started doing rideshare last year, few people were getting out on the road, and I was a little hesitant and nervous, to be honest, about allowing people into my vehicles. You hear horror stories that take place with both drivers and riders out on the road. But, and this is important to remember for those who may be interested in doing rideshare driving in the future, I can tell you this is extremely rare. Anywhere you work that involves being around people is going to come with some degree of risk involved. And you have to ask yourself, is it worth the risk? Is it worth it to you to be out there in the world? For some introverts, it isn't worth it. Never will be. And for many others, the idea of the extra work, spending time away from family, from friends, makes it a very difficult proposition, especially if you already have a full-time job. It has absolutely been worth it for me. I'm currently in the process of paying off both my Chevy Tahoe and my mortgage, thanks in part to the additional supplemental income I'm receiving from rideshare and delivery driving. Mostly rideshare these days as opposed to deliveries. I have a wonderful opportunity to meet some really fantastic people, some amazing, and yes, I've had a few bad experiences. Any rideshare driver will. But for me, they have been very rare. And these experiences, along with the money, money's always a plus, is always a fantastic motivator. It helps to keep me on the road in doing this. In time, I'm looking forward to sharing with you my tips and tricks to being a successful rideshare driver. Not relationship advice. As well as sharing with you stories of the folks I've met out on the road. I also hope to discuss, probably in my next couple videos, the caution you have to take in not allowing rideshare driving to become a potential addiction as well, for those, especially like myself, who have addictive personalities. With that said, I think I'm going to call this to an end of my introduction. It would absolutely mean a tremendous amount to me if you could like, comment, and subscribe, so you have an opportunity to see my future videos covering not only rideshare driving, also to see my dog Spuds, but also various other topics of discussion that are near and dear to my heart. No, this is not the most professionally made video in the world. To be completely transparent, I really don't know what I'm doing when it comes to making videos for YouTube, whether it's filming or editing or any stage of putting a video together. This is a new frontier for me. I hope over time to become better at doing this and hopefully grow in competency. There we go. I would ask that you please forgive the more amateur aspects of my video, all the ums and uhs and stuttering and mistakes, and focus more on the content I hope to share. Maybe one day, when I have thousands of subscribers and become proficient in editing software, this channel can be something really special for many people. But for today, it's something special to me. And getting out there on YouTube and taking this risk, and it is a risk, and fully exposing myself to anyone who may click on this or any of my future videos and watching them. You know what else was a great risk? Putting myself out there to do rideshare when I knew nothing about it. But it was a risk worth taking. I believe this will be a risk worth the potential reward of benefiting others as well. Let's take this journey together. My friends, fight the good fight. Always. And I'll see you all again soon.